Okay, so got some health advice for my mate Ryan. Now, Ryan's been eating some junk food, and you don't want to be doing that, Ryan, because yeah, you will lack in your energy. Look, today we're basically going to be discussing grounding, kidneys, lack of energy, lethargy, and back pain, um, and maybe some stuff about other organs if we get there. So, me and Ryan are mates, and we are just talking this morning, and we're doing some projects together, and he hasn't had much energy in the last week, and I was just talking to him, and he was saying he was eating garbage. So that's great that you admit it. The first uh, stage of enlightenment is admittance. So if you don't admit anything is wrong, you're never going to be able to go further. So here's the stages of enlightenment: admittance, awakening, catharsis, transmutation, transcendence, and then you got double enlightenment stages. So if you don't admit you've got some kind of problem, sorry I'm leaning forward here, but if you don't admit you've got some kind of problem, you can't get to the next stages and cathart through it and sort the thing out and then gain the enlightenment that you were meant to gain from it and the transcendence and transcend it. So that's good. So that's where we begin, just admitting. So look, you're always going to feel a lack of energy when you're eating junky foods. I don't know what you've been eating, whether it's chips, chocolate, whatever. I don't know, soft drink, I have no idea. But all of that sort of stuff, anything that basically isn't an alive food, takes your body processing power. Now, IT is something closer to your heart, and you understand IT, so I can put it in a simulacrum form for you in an analogy. It's the same as your computer when you're running many programs, and it stuffs up your CPU processing, and your computer slows down. Well, it's the same with our body. It's a machine body. And so when you're eating a lot of junk food, what we're really doing is making our body process that stuff super extra amounts. Say you eat a carrot, say you eat a banana, or something alive. Your body doesn't need to process that food as much, so it can go quicker. You can do something else while you're eating. You start clogging yourself, you clog your intercellular junk, we call this. You start clogging yourself, or your CPU, your central processing unit. You start clogging your body, and that's basically what happens. You get an effect of clogging and taking up space and, processing power. So some people ask me how I can do so much work and study. A lot of people know that some days I study 12 to 16 hour days, and I've been doing that for many years now. I can stay up very late studying and enjoy it too, because I feel like I'm eating light or information. Now, you've already got that part, so all you need to do is take away the other part of eating crappy foods and just insert the good foods. Now, not only will good foods give you light, we're not going to go into that side of things. We're just going to keep it third dimensional, and we're going to keep it second dimensional about nutrition. We're not going to go into higher dimensional sort of ideas of this. So, if you eat something like a salad every day, you're going to cure your back pain, you're going to cure your processing power, your brain fog that you mentioned. Now, there's special Kundalini techniques on the back of your neck here and your heart. If you go to biologyofkundalini.org or .com, I can't remember, but it's a lady, she's a scientist, she's made a really good website of some ways to heal with Kundalini. Now, it's basically, what was it, like this? So we're on that part there, in there, right under your ear, right? So you push the stress out. Then you go through the three parts of your heart. It'll start to the left, to the right, and then up, right? And you basically just breathe through that. Now, that exercise is super for clearing the brain fog. I almost felt it just then, starting, just from doing it once. So if we just sit here like this, And Kundalini is silent and subtle. Kundalini is not like chi. Chi force is chi. It's rigorous, and it's a lot different to subtle Kundalini. So when we do this, we're sitting quietly in Kundalini, and it's very quiet, and you're feeling your insides. You're going to feel your heart and the ganglion, the nervous ganglion, connecting to your brain stem, and it's going to stop the dissonance that we can get in the parietal lobes at the back. Okay, so that's what is brain fog. Excuse me. So I've got some beautiful cinnamon water. You can see there's not even much cinnamon in this one. This is like a leftover one. Usually it's very dark, and cinnamon's in the top 10 natural antioxidants. There's also synthetic antioxidants out there. Anyway, so cinnamon water. I just boil it with cinnamon. I have to boil it here because I'm in Uruguay and I'm drinking tap water, unfortunately, because I can't even afford a filter because no one wants to help me. So anyway, you do what you can do. Do the best you can do. I realized I can get cheap cinnamon and I can just boil the water, and this gives me a very refreshing drink. Everyone who drinks my drink here just goes, whoa. It's very refreshing, so try this one. That's called hydration. You also want to get the mix I told you about. This is all going to stop brain fog. When you have hydration, it's going to stop pain in your body. When you're hydrated, a lot of the pain in your body is going to bail. It's going to be gone. So your sore back is going to be cured a lot by just hydration. We're going to go into another technique too. So what you want to do is get the lemon and aloe vera recipe I told you about. Just go pick aloe vera from your street, take the middle part out, the mucilaginous part, take the sides and the top and the spikes off, and you just put the middle of the aloe vera in the blender. You squeeze half a lemon or a whole lemon in. Not too much lemon because it can have the opposite effect of hydration when you have too much. However, lemon has a lot of compact hydrogen, and hydrogen in German means generator of hydro, so hydration. So this is my favorite recipe actually for hydration. Either lemon or lime with, and not orange so much because it's too sugary, without as much hydration effect, I feel. And you got to feel this, you know. And the aloe vera is sticking all this, including the water that you mix it with. Mix it with water. Don't just have lemon and aloe vera. You're mixing it with water as well. I put in my cinnamon water because that way I don't get another thing you mentioned, diabetes. Because if we have too much sugar, we can get diabetes, 1 and 2. So what we want to do to avoid that is take cinnamon water into our lemon sugar, because lemon has sugar in it, fructose, into our lemon drink. We want to put a bit of cinnamon water. Now what that does is it's chromium, it's good for your immune system and much more, hydration, etc., antioxidation. It's in the top 10 antioxidants, way above all the berries, above cacao, above coffee. It's like triple almost coffee, cinnamon. Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to get the water, we want to get the lemon, we want to get the aloe vera and mix it. This is my favorite hydration recipe, and it's cheap, very cheap. This is going to stop you getting diabetes, the cinnamon water, because it regulates blood sugar. It's also the tincture. Cinnamon tincture is also what I give to anyone who has diabetes. It's one of the strongest things to stop diabetes via regulation of blood sugar. So always add in the cinnamon water to your lemon and aloe vera hydration drink. Now, when you stay hydrated, I notice a lot less pain. Now, Ryan, you're like me, you're on the computer like all day, most of the time, and so we need to stay hydrated. And you'll find that when you have more hydration, what you want to do is negatively charge the ions in the water, because one negatively charged anion, or negatively charged ion, which is an anion, not a cation, which is positively charged, one anion, or negative ion, aligns 1 million water particles. So you only need a little bit of negative charge to align all the water in your body. And we're not going to go into six-dimensional geometrics and alignment, but that's suffice to say what I've already said. So the aforementioned, I mentioned negative charge. Well, how do we attain and accrue this and hold it in our body? Well, the thyroid holds it a lot. This is my main sort of measure, one of my main measures of how much negative charge I have in my body at any time. How sore is my thyroid? How much is it pulsing positive charge? If it is, I go outside and I ground and I hydrate. Oh, that is so good. So cheap, so good. So I go outside for about an hour a day. I don't even always stand on the bare earth. Concrete is sufficient enough. Sometimes you need to go to the beach and fully clear out. Sometimes I like to go to the forest. So you have to feel that once again. But this is basically how we get negative charge, by going onto the ground and look, you push your positive charge off. How we do that is not by pushing, it's not chi, we're just letting it go. Then we'll get an alkaline sort of chi and negative charge. But what I mean by it's not chi is we're not doing a rigorous thing. Chi is often associated with rigor, not like Kundalini is subtle, and the other energies we're not going to go into, like prana. Prana is more of a universal golden light and 10th dimensional. Anyway, so when we're grounding, we want to basically let it go. And you're talking to earth, literally. You communicate, okay? This is why a grounding mat or grounding equipment technology is not sufficient. It can help a great deal. I have a grounded mouse pad for $20. I put that under my lap. If I put my laptop with my wind machine under the lap, I've got like a wind machine under the laptop here. So I'll put my grounded mouse pad under the wind machine to keep the laptop cool, and then I've got no positive charge actually connecting to me, touching me from the laptop, because the laptop is really bad. I hate to touch it, especially when the cord is plugged in. So if you're going to touch your computer, try to make sure that the cord is not plugged into the socket and you're electrocuting yourself. This accrues positive charge. So what we want to do is accrue negative charge. Excuse me. Just sitting forward on an awkward angle from my bed. So what we want to do is accrue the negative charge, and so we want to go outside an hour a day. Now every 4 to 6 hours really, but you know, not everyone's going to take that advice, so I just say an hour a day. From there, from 1 hour a day, you'll feel what to do. The opening will begin. That's just why I give that advice initially. I hope you guys can hear me. My volume was down. Anyway, so I'm sure that it was recording the sound. Okay. I hope that was recording the sound. Right, so when we're grounded and hydrated, you're not going to notice 3/4 of the pain will be immediately gone. Then what you want to do to get rid of all of the pain in your body is nutritionalize your body, because your body is screaming in certain spots. Now, if you've got pain somewhere, we really need hydration, water, air, and electrical current. And so grounding and drinking and breath work, in through the tip of your nose, out through the back of your mouth here. Okay, so hydration, grounding, and breath work are the only things we really need to get rid of pain in our body. Not to mention most of the bacteria, up to 75 to 90% of all the bacteria in our body can be breathed out. I agree with the Taoists and the Buddhas. Also remember, the Buddhas have a saying, um, all pain is energy leaving the body. So I ground until I'm in a painless state. Then I know that, I'm not protruding energy, I'm not losing and leaking energy as much, and then you start to circulate the microcosmic orbit, and I don't know, all your meridians and nadis open, and you circulate energy better, okay? So it's really just those two main things. Now, the salad. Oh yeah, sorry, before we move on. So you asked about the kidneys. Well, grounding somehow pulls in Jing energy. Jing is before Qi or Qi, before Shen, which is aura energy, and then what we have is Wu Ji, which I call cosmic thinking force. And it gives you the ability to sit there and do 16-hour study days if you have a lot of Wu Ji. Now, Shen is auric energy, and then Qi is movement and metabolistic energy, but Jing is the primordial energy that we suck into ourselves. Okay, so Qi is created in the lower abdomen there. So the Jing actually will restore itself and work its way into your kidneys when you're grounding. The main spot you're worried about when you're grounding is on the ball of the big toe. I won't show you my foot. But on the ball of the big toe is actually the main grounding position. Obviously we can stretch and stuff and work our joints out while we're grounding, and that's what I do every time. I always end up stretching in yoga ring, yogically stretching. So and then I hydrate while I'm doing it, stretch more, have another sip of water, and that pushes the toxins around. And you'll notice the pain disappearing very mysteriously. So, it's not as hard as you think. It's not just about eating perfect a diet. There are very simple things we can do. Okay, so the Jing energy will restore your kidneys, and you won't get kidney stones and stuff. You'll keep the energy flowing in you through your kidneys. And look, there's lots more we can discuss. I don't want to drag this out completely, but let's go into nutrition for a second. I said to you before in comment that a salad a day, or just a salad every 2 days, just as often as you can get a salad into you, is going to heal all of these things. So forget about grounding and hydration, which are before the salad and more important, but for a second forget them. Even if you're lazy and you only want to do one thing, you don't want to stand out there grounding, which I do recommend. Okay, and I do recommend drinking good water like the cinnamon water. But if you don't want to for some reason because you're super duper lazy, I don't know. If you don't want to and you feel like it's too much effort or something, the one thing you can do for yourself is the salad, because you're going to get the hydration and you're going to get the nutrition. You're going to get alkaline state, which makes you feel like less cramped. Acidosis is a cramped state, and alkaline you feel more at ease, okay? So that's going to change your pain a lot. Just a salad without anything else, just a salad. So here's just my leftover salad from last night. It can be simple. I've got cabbage and parsley as the base. I love parsley. It's so high in iron. And then the cabbage, and I've got some corn, and I put turmeric in there and apple cider vinegar as the dressing, and a little bit of lemon I squeezed in, and tomato. So very simple salad. I prefer to put nuts with it. I can't afford nuts right now, otherwise I'd have cashews in there. Don't have any avocados, otherwise I'd have avocados in there. Even just a salad like that, like I've been doing the last few weeks, is going to take you a massive amount of the way to healing. Look, in my opinion, you really shouldn't just be going for one. Don't be lazy. Hydrate, salad, and grounding. It's not that difficult. Now your taste buds are going to have to change from any junk food you've been eating. The parasites connect up to your stomach through your saliva and stuff here. So your taste buds will have to completely change in order for you to enjoy the salad. I remember when I started on this, I was like, oh, the salad, oh. But very quickly, it disconnects the parasites and it changes your taste buds and it makes you feel better. So you've got to start somewhere. Remember, 1,000-mile journey begins with one step. So I try for a salad as often as I can. I love the weeks when I have a salad every day. I feel just like I'm zooming. I have much more energy. So this was the main part of our talk, to how do I feel so good every day? How do I feel energy to keep studying so much? And I don't feel like every day. And you're going to feel when you have, all these junk foods. Now, anything that is cooked will make your body process more as well. So I'm not saying just suddenly become a raw vegan. You might want to if you want to, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying start to change and transition, because, anything you do is going to help. You don't have to go the whole way immediately. You might never. But anything you do, even just adding one salad a week, will help. Trust me, if it's a big bowl of salad like this, and you have just one of these a week, I think you will feel the difference. 2 of them a week, 3 of them a week, and you're going to know that you've changed something. Okay, then you're going to become really aware of it, and then you want more, because you've become aware of it. Oh wow, that really works, So it's very simple, just grounding, hydration, and a salad. To boot, remember what we've got in here. You've got, magnesium and stuff too, right? And chromium. Cinnamon is the highest food in the world. It's a tree bark, and it's the highest food in the world of chromium. Chromium is going to help your immune system. Like magnesium gives you this certain energy, so does chromium. It gives you a certain energy. It's a bit different, a bit lower. Magnesium's a bit brighter. I think we know that in the laboratory too when we burn them. Anyway, and you're a burning machine, right? You're burning this stuff through you every day. So you need to top yourself up. Just don't forget this stuff. It's very simple though. In the end, all you really have to remember is add a salad in as much as possible and try and increase your salad intake. And a big salad, and the salad is your meal. Now you're going to say, well, what about protein? Yeah, after a week, after months, after some people can go years before they really start to crave the protein again. I went months and months and months. I went like 8 months, I remember, one time before I started to really crave protein again. So remember, your body will eat your fat as well. So this is a great way to get skinnier as well. Look, there is some pain involved in the beginning, and that's why we ground. Because the positive charge is the pain. The negative charge is the opposite of pain. Okay? Whatever that word is, painlessness. So, positive charge is pain. You'll notice when you start grounding that it'll happen by itself. You're not trying to push this stuff. Stand there quietly, distract yourself for a minute, and you go back and you might feel a tingling. And if you feel the tingling, that's very good on your toe. Your big toe will start to shake very, very subtly. Very, very subtle shaking, okay? Now, when your big toe does this, that's the positive charge leaving, and that's Morse coding the earth. That's your body going, dee, 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 this is how much pain I'm in, madre, doo, 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 doo. And actually, this is your body talking to the earth. So it's better when you stand off the concrete on the flat ground, but sometimes the concrete is sufficient for me. Now, we obviously connect through the third eye and stuff, but I don't want to go into the deeper parts of grounding. It's suffice to say everything that I've mentioned here already to begin with. I don't want to get too into detail because you might get complexed, you might get, you know, afraid and think it's too much. So I don't want to overload you with information or something right now. So very simple, things like the cinnamon water will stop the diabetes because it's a blood sugar regulator. Obviously you want to quit the sugar a bit at the same time, right? You want to avoid as much sugar as you can. Start reading the labels on your food. It's not that hard. Anything that's packaged most likely has sugar and sodium up the yin yang. So you just want to avoid packaged stuff as much as you can. You're going for raw food as much as you can. No one, well, some people are, but I'm not saying completely go vegan raw, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying go as much as you can and you feel like doing. Because if you don't feel good about it, you might quit and completely go backwards, you know. It's not likely, but it happens. I'm a shaman doctor. I see a lot of people for consultations. I give tinctures to people, all this stuff. So I am aware of people thinking that it's too much and getting daunted by the task. And you know, I give them a consultation. It's not enough information to, or it's too much, sorry, information, and they feel overwhelmed. So just keep it simple, stupid, grounding, hydration, and a salad. You're going to cure everything you just mentioned to me. Back pain, pain in general, lethargy, brain fog. I've also given you some extra techniques. There was one last thing I wanted to say. No. The lungs, was it the lungs? Oh, there was something else. Oh yeah, so to do with back pain, one last bit of advice. At night time, hang off your bed like this. Excuse the mess. I just woke up. So you're just going to hang off the edge of the bed like this, okay? Oh, alright. So you're just going to hang off the edge of the bed upside down. You're going to hang off the edge of the bed upside down for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you can handle before bed. If your head spins, that means you've got too much sugar. So there's a way to tell how much sugar you have in your body at any given time. Hang upside down. It's not just the blood rushing to your head, it's the sugar in the blood as well, the blood glucose levels, okay? You'll get head spins when you have too much blood glucose, okay? When I do that, at the moment, I have like barely any head spin to no head spin, okay? So if you can't do it for a minute, you're in a bad state, you need to take all the advice I've just mentioned. Okay, so that will help you. I don't have to hope it will. If you do it, all I'm hoping for is that you do it, because I know it helps. This is part of my daily routine. This has become my life. This is not something I've borrowed from people. This is something I practice. So I know it works. You don't have to trust me. All you have to do is find out for yourself.